Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and knights around the realm, it's your boy, HB Prince here, part of the new exclusive Knights podcast. But I'm flying solo dolo tonight. But that's okay. That's okay because I got y'all. But before I get started, I have to do it. I need y'all, please, to follow us on Facebook, the YouTube at the Exclusive Knights Podcast, and X at the XK Podcast. Listen, we really appreciate the support, but we would really like if you would like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you can continue to receive updates on our content that we put out each and every week on all things wrestling, from Monday Night Raw to NXT to AEW and to SmackDown. So we appreciate it if you will go ahead and check us out on any of those platforms, if not all of those platforms. But that's not what you're here for, right? That's not solely what you're here for. You want to talk about that NXT. All right, so let's talk about it. Let's do this NXT review. What I'm going to say about tonight's show is that it was a lot of setup, and that's what I was noticing with this show. It's a lot of setup, especially for the move that's getting ready to take place with NXT going to the CW. And so we had a lot of setup throughout the night with different people. But I want to touch on probably three of the main things that took place tonight that I thought were the most interesting. And if you miss NXT, if you know about these three things, you're probably going to be doing just fine going into next week. And that is going to be the first match, which was a triple threat tag team match between the Rascals, Hank and Tank, and Gallus. And boy, let me tell you, did they put on a show. And I really have to give the Rascals credit. And if you didn't see it, obviously the Rascals went over in this match. Well, I say obviously, but I mean, this is TNA wrestlers, tag team wrestlers that have actually won another match, which is really cool to see that Sean is really kind of paying some type of respect to this partnership between TNA and NXT, which I've really kind of been enjoying over these last few weeks. Even though we didn't get what we wanted at No Mercy with Joe Hendry, the crowd still believes, the exclusive Knights still believe, and I hope the rest of you out there still believe in Joe Hendry. But to get back to what I was talking about with the tag team match, we still had the Rascals go over on Hank and Tank and Gallus, and the match was great. The Rascals, they were phenomenal. I love. I'm a fan of the flippy, twisty stunts and spots and stuff that wrestlers do. I love to see it because it really highlights and showcases the athleticism of a lot of these wrestlers. And the Rascals, obviously, even with Budget Ricochet, put on a phenomenal match. Hank and Tank, Gallus, I mean, they all did their thing. But the Rascals obviously went over in this match, and I'm very excited for what it sets up in this number one contendership for the tag team titles with the Rascals and with Axiom. Now, I don't know how this match is going to go because, we've kind of been seeing, the TNA wrestlers win some matches here, which is why I like this, because it starts to make you think, well, maybe, just maybe. But honestly, I think this match between the Rascals and Axiom that has been set up now that the Rascals are the number one contenders will be fire, because you're talking about four explosive men, four explosive, talented men in the ring, and the show that they can put on, the spots that they can do, the athleticism that these guys have, I think is going to go a long way. And I have no doubt in my mind, and you're hearing it here first, that this match will be A1 banger certified. So I just want to put that out there. I want you to know, and I want you to hear it here first on the Exclusive Nights podcast, that Axiom versus the Rascals will be A1 rated. Now, to go ahead and transition from that, the next best thing that took place here tonight was the match between Trick Williams and Butch. That's right, Butch. All right, let me stop playing. Pete Dunne, okay, because we all know he hates the name Butch and he doesn't want to be known by Butch. But I mean, if the shoe fits, you kind of gotta wear it. But that's either here or there. Pete Dunne, Trick Williams, they had their match. Everything was going well. I don't know how I feel about the finisher here. And of course, I want you guys to send us your comments down below in the video, whatever, about your thoughts as well. I know I'm sharing my thoughts with you guys, but I don't speak for all of the exclusive nights, and I don't speak for everybody watching. So I'd like to know, hey, if you agree or disagree to some of this, and that's fine, just put it down in the comments, and we will respond. But I didn't care for the way this match kind of ended. It ended on a count out on both wrestlers. And I was just like, what's happening here? But obviously set up. Like I said, a lot of the show tonight was set up. It was set up from Trick Williams match, Obafemi match, what I'm getting to get into here in a minute. We got Roxanne and Julia, Jordan Gray. So it was a lot of setup tonight. But this setup, what we now know will be an Iron Man match between Trick Williams and Pete Dunne, or Butch. And I guess, hey, look, I'm here for it. The reason why is because it was said that the winner of this match will go on to face Ethan Page, all ego, for the NXT title. Now, I want to know what y'all think about all ego and him being the current NXT champion. How do y'all feel about that? Do y'all think it was right that Trick only had one, which something that all ego pointed out, one victory or title defense victory when he had the NXT title, and now Ethan has the belt. And I'm not the biggest Ethan Page fan. I know my boy Darrell, Mr. Exclusive himself, loves all ego. So, shout out Darrell, shout out Mr. Exclusive. But I will say one thing that I have been tripping about, and that has been something that, kind of makes me laugh every time I see Ethan Page. It's the way he carries the belt. It's, if you pay attention to the way he's constantly carrying the NXT title, it's always at that 90-degree angle, and he's just walking around with it. And even though the crowd is just giving him nothing but disrespect, they're just booing him. They're singing our boy Joe Hendry's song at him and everything. But he constantly reminds people, hey, I'm still your NXT champion. Hey, which is true. You can say what you want. You can like the man. You can dislike the man. He still is the NXT champion. So you got to put some spec on that. But my hope is that it won't be for long, because when Trick Willy Wonka gets in the ring with Pete Dunne, Butch, and he takes care of Butch and he faces all ego for that belt, I'm hoping it comes back home. I'm hoping that Ethan Page, all ego, gets the whooping he deserves. That's right, Trick. You need to whoop that Trick, because that's what all ego is to me anyway. But hey, let me know what you think about it. But the most important thing that happened tonight, which I am so excited for, which I am so here for, because I'm glad that they said encore. That's what the crowd was chanting, encore. And I was in the crowd. I ain't gonna lie, I was in the crowd. Encore. We have the possible setup. Now, I'm trying to keep the excitement levels, down as much as I can. But I don't know. I don't know if I cannot get up for this. Pause. Hard pause. And then pause again. But by our boy, Femi, is possibly going to have another match with the Don himself, the Don of NXT. And I just am here for it. I want y'all to know, because if y'all remember correctly, I picked the Don to go over in NXT No Mercy. Man, that's a mouthful. Say that 3 or 4 times fast. I picked him to go over. I did, but it didn't happen. because the Don was going against a ruler. Who? And we learned what happens when you go against a ruler. Who? Obafemi came out on top. But what I like to see and what I respect the most is that Sean said, run it back. And I think they're planting the crumbs of them running it back. And I have a feeling that when this match is ran back, when it goes back and the Don faces the ruler, the Don is coming out on top. And that's another one I want you guys to know and say you heard here first on the Exclusive Nights podcast. The Prince. Now, has the Prince ever steered you wrong? Okay, well, there was that one time at NXT No Mercy where I said that, the Don would beat Obafemi, or Wes Lee would beat, his guy from the Rascals, or that, Joe Hendry, I believed. So maybe I'll take that back. We gotta think on that. But I just have a feeling that on this day, when Obafemi faces the Don for NXT, there's going to be a little bit more. There's going to be a little bit more in the Don's tank, that he's fighting for just a little bit more, especially with the way that Oba came out and kind of disrespected the Don's family. And because of that disrespect, he ended up in a match with Stacks. And of course, Femi did Femi things, and he destroyed Stacks. And so that's one other family member that has just been taken out by Oba, and the Don. He can't stand for it, because there's one thing, if it's one thing that we all know, is that you don't disrespect the family. So I'm excited about this one. I can talk about it all day, just because I really love what Sean and the team down at NXT does. And I know this is developmental and all that kind of stuff, but it doesn't feel that way for me. The storylines, the long-term storytelling that Mr. Exclusive talks about, the making me invested that the man, the myth, the legend, Eric Knight talks about, your humble host. That's the stuff I enjoy, and it's all here. It's all there in NXT, and I appreciate that. So I have to say thank you. Thank you very much to Sean, the NXT team, the wrestlers down there. Y'all are doing just a bang-up job delivering great matches with great stories. And it's just hard to really pick apart things that are happening in NXT, because they're kind of hitting on all cylinders. They really are. And even in the times that you don't get what you want from NXT, such as, hey, Lash Legends winning the North American Women's Championship, it kind of makes you feel bad, because then you think to yourself, oh my gosh, Kalani Jordan is out here killing it. She's killing it. So now it's like, all right, this is just a talented roster. I have nothing but just nothing but respect, not disrespect, respect for Shawn Michaels. And as Eric Knight himself would say, he has the chef's hat on, and he has been cooking and serving it up. And I just appreciate it. But before we close out the show tonight, guys, I want to talk about 3 more things that just are honorable mentions in a way. All right. And that is some things that was set up. Obviously, we had Fatal Influence come in here tonight, and they started talking to our girl, disrespectful, and Kalani Jordan. I'm sure she ain't going to stand for it. I don't know where this is going, but they threatened to take her belt. And with the reign that Kalani Jordan has been having right now so far, and the matches that she's been putting on so far, I don't think anybody in Fatal Influence is ready for it. They're not, because Kalani can go. She can go in the ring, and that is one pick there that was a surprise for me, that I have just fallen in love with. And hey, Kalani, keep it up. Keep doing your thing, girl. You have a serious fan here in the Prince himself. So, hey, keep that work up. And then we got something with Jordynne Grace, another way that Sean is paying that TNA partnership some respect, because now Jordynne Grace cuts a promo saying that she's going to put her TNA Knockouts Championship, or have an open, I should say, let me correct this, have a open challenge for her TNA Knockout Championship. That is really cool, that she's going to be defending a TNA championship on NXT. And so I'm here for it. I'm wondering where they're going to go with this. I wonder who the challenger is going to be. Can we get a Soul Ruka? Can we get a Lash Legend? Or will we get a Hey, Miss Parker? For all of those out there that know what I mean. All right. But yeah, I mean, hey, any of those girls, I would love to see it. I mean, Jordan Grace is just phenomenal in the ring. And so I'm willing to see. I want to see them go. You know, whoever it is between, especially if it's one of those three girls. I mean, because I'm gonna tell you again, I'm gonna say it again. That Soul Snatcher, I can't say it enough. One of the best finishes in the game. All right. All right. So anyhow, but yeah, so Jordan Grace cuts her thing out. She's got her open challenge match going on. That was put out there tonight. And then last but not least, to finish off the show, we closed out with the NXT Women's Champion, Roxanne. And it kind of goes back to what happened at NXT No Mercy, where we had Julia show up. They face off in the ring after Roxanne cuts a good promo. She did a pretty good job on her promo. She gave Jada Parker the respect for going the distance in the ring. But she kind of just kept, again, talking about the phenom that she is, you know, this winning streak that she's on, you know, how she's pretty much, you know, catching Asuka and Shayna Baszler in her NXT reign. And hey, more power to her. But Julia comes out, they go face to face. Now we're going to see where this goes right here. So that right there in a nutshell, hopefully in about 15 minutes or less, was your NXT review. And again, I just would like to remind everyone before we close out that please, if you like the content, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We really appreciate it. We've really been appreciating the support that we've been receiving from our viewers. Again, leave us some comments so we can, you know, go down and just, you know, chat and just continue to just build support. And so we appreciate it. But you can find us on Facebook at the Exclusive Nights Podcast. You can find us on YouTube and Instagram at the Exclusive Nights Podcast, and on X as well at the XK Podcast. With that said, this has been your boy, Solo Dolo. And I appreciate the time that you spent here with me here on your NXT review. But what I want you guys to know is that this is not the last time you will be seeing me, and that we are on our mission to be the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be, and make sure that your nights, that's right, your nights will never be the same.